Dollhouse Season 2 Episode 9, Stop Loss, is the Victor-focused counterpart to the Sierra-focused Belonging episode. It starts with Adele once again imprinting Victor to be her sex partner, only to be subverted by the power of love. Victor loves Sierra so much that even when he's imprinted to love someone else, he still wants to be with Sierra.
It's as if I met this woman in a previous life, as though our love transcends our very being.
I think the fact that this effect is so strong in Victor as well should be enough to counter the idea that there's anything sexist about Priya suddenly gushing about her love for Victor when confronting her rapist in Belonging. On one level, Adele is trying to rape Victor, so it's pretty even with the whole lovey-dovey adoration portrayals. Adele is ticked off about Victor rejecting her, especially because his contract is ending soon and he'll be gone for good. Echo tries to get Victor to say goodbye to Sierra, but he doesn't understand.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. I'll see you at dinner.
Topher gives original personality Anthony back his body along with a cure for his post-traumatic stress disorder suffered in Afghanistan. Though considering how all of Victor's glitches have been PTSD related, it's doubtful if Topher really has that power. With his tremendous earnings, Anthony goes to the apartment that Rossum set up for him, but it's clear he's not well adjusted for living on his own. Like with Victor previously waiting faithfully for Sierra, Sierra now waits faithfully for Victor. When Echo tells her that he's gone for good, Sierra reacts with concern for Victor.
He's not ready to be by himself.
I like that Sierra isn't completely lost in despair over Victor's absence, even though it would make sense for an active with her mental state. It's a sexist trope that women are completely lost without their men, and it's nice to see a break in that pattern. She's hurt, but she has concern for Victor that extends beyond the typical romance boundaries. It's actually a pretty mature relationship. Anthony goes to a club, but is completely out of his comfort zone. He thinks he sees Sierra and darts over to her, only for it to turn out to be another woman. Anthony is alone and miserable. Again, interesting that the man is lost without the woman. Meanwhile, Echo's upset because she wanted to use Victor to help the actives, and his absence makes her plan fall apart. When she finds out that Ballard's brain-dead body has been moved elsewhere, she angrily goes to confront Adele, not even bothering to pretend she's not planning rebellion. The two women stand opposed to each other but are similar, strong, intelligent women, locked in a struggle in which neither makes any direct moves against each other, but instead manipulate others as if enemy generals. The feminine presence and power in the story is quite feminist, I would say. While they threaten each other as can be expected, Echo tells Adele that she needs to choose a side. Does she choose to help the people under her care, or does she choose to help Rossum? Adele is apparently so upset by this that she continues drinking even when she should be working the next day. In the middle of the night, a bunch of mysterious men abduct Anthony. They turn out to be from his old unit. They offer him the chance to join their group of warriors, called Mind Whisper, and become a part of something greater. Because he's lonely and lacking a sense of purpose, he accepts. They stick an implant into his neck, and he joins the collective. They're a group of ex-actives who Rossum has turned into a hive mind of elite super soldiers. The implants make them able to share thoughts and force each other to obey commands. The longer an individual is plugged into Mind Whisper, the less of their own personalities will remain. Topher learns he's been taken, and the Dollhouse figures out what's going on. The staff is mostly sympathetic to Victor, and they want to rescue him through enslaving him in a less total way. Adele reasons that it's not their concern what Anthony does outside the Dollhouse, and if it's his choice to join Mind Whisper, there's no reason for them to take action. Because Adele's confined herself to her office with its minibar, the Dollhouse underlings are free to enact their plan. Topher knows that Sierra's presence would be most likely to bring Anthony out of the collective, and he imprints her with the version of Priya that remembers seeing Victor from Belonging. Echo has Topher dump a lot of useful imprints in her head, and then she and Priya head out to rescue Anthony. Yet two women head out to rescue a man. One thing that's worth mentioning is that Mind Whisper is all men. That can be explained as Rossum's bias or the fact that they're selecting ex-actives that specifically have soldier pasts. Women may be more likely to become actives for other reasons than military PTSD. Given the prominence of female warriors in the Dollhouse setting, I doubt it's any kind of commentary on the capability of female warriors. It does, however, make Echo's fights with Mind Whisper be about a woman overpowering a bunch of men. For this reason, I don't think there's anything sexist about Mind Whisper Anthony trying to strangle Priya. Focusing on men hurting women and ignoring women hurting men is sexist both ways. Anyway, the power of love causes Anthony to snap out of it, but Echo knocks him out to prevent the collective from seeing through him. They split up. Anthony wakes up and he and Priya work together. Priya is less capable than him, but it seems like basic ignorance of combat. Priya is just a civilian. She doesn't even have Republican brothers to give her gun experience. Anthony shows her a lot of respect, even as he needs to take charge to get them through this. Echo implants the telepathy device in her neck, connecting herself to Mind Whisper. Instead of being absorbed by it, Echo's 40-something brains are able to take control. She orders the soldiers to stand down and then go home.
I want to go home and rethink my life.
So a woman's willpower is able to overcome an aggressive institution of men who were oppressed by it even as it supposedly gave them power. And Dollhouse is not a feminist show. How exactly? Echo drives Anthony and Priya back to the Dollhouse, but she reconsiders and stops the car in the desert. This episode has been about how people disrespect Victor by using him as the means to an end. Adele uses Victor for sex. In a greater sense, the Dollhouse has been controlling him in general. Mind Whisper uses Anthony, and Echo herself wanted to use Victor to help her liberate the actives. Even for a noble purpose like that, though, she recognizes that it's bad to use someone. Instead, she tells them to run away and be free. She'll rescue the actives on her own. Priya initially objects, but Anthony can hear Echo's thoughts through the Mind Whisper uplink, and he convinces Priya to accept the gift of freedom. Anthony and Priya thankfully say their farewells to Echo, and then they're all hit with a disruptor. Adele decided to choose a side. She has them all imprisoned and sends them to the attic.
You just love dangling that little string of hope in front of us and yanking it away, don't you?
I do still want to hurt you all.
The episode ends on this cliffhanger.
I told you Rawson was evil.
The whole Victor and Sierra pairing is interesting from an analytical perspective. Arguably more so than Echo and Ballard, because Victor and Sierra fit more comfortably in the typical romance narrative. When the tropes are played around for their romance, it has more feminist relevance. Victor takes a traditionally feminine role in the relationship without being played as a feminine character. He's still unmistakably masculine, and the traditionally masculine soldier role ties into that. And it's not like Sierra's made more masculine to compensate either.